let's talk about some of the elite products in my collection. I review a lot of stuff, and I feel like especially in the last year or so, I've been reviewing more than ever. And as much as I love it, these products I'm going to show you here are basically my faves. I haven't done a favorites video and I don't even know how long. It's been forever, it feels like. And having these products in front of me just makes me feel so excited, because when you're reviewing a lot, your collection starts to not feel like your own. It starts to feel a little bit more like a Sephora, if you will. And truly, I feel like if I wasn't doing YouTube, if I wasn't doing reviews, these are the products I would be using all the time. And a lot of these I've had to like stop myself from using, because I'm like, okay, you have to test other stuff. You have to use other things. But these really are my current preferences. These are like my favorite products. I really would be doing my full face of makeup with these day in, day out. And they really showcase, I feel like, my love for makeup. And I feel like I've been trying a lot of duds. So it's kind of nice, honestly, to just bask in what's amazing. That all being said, before we get too far into it, I do want to thank today's sponsor, BK Beauty. If you guys saw my Sephora haul update, that was also sponsored by BK Beauty, and it was to let you guys know about the summer sale that is currently going on. That sale started July 3rd. It's going through the 8th, and you can get 20% off the 3 different brush sets that they have in collaboration with creators. There's the Angie Hot and Flashy set. There's also the Angie Hot and Flashy travel set, which comes with that brush pouch and has some smaller brushes in it. And then there's also the BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose set, which has some different shaped brushes in there as well. But those are going to be 20% off with the code YT20. You can shop right through YouTube Shopping. I will have them linked to the side and down below. I'm a huge fan of the BK Beauty brushes. Literally, if you see me out and about, I'm probably rocking a BK Beauty hat. Like, I just love the BK Beauty brushes. So I highly suggest, if you're in the market for some brushes, to check out the sale, save some money on those sets. And to be honest, I've been wanting to do this video for a while, talking about my current faves and my current obsessions, and this brush was on the list. This is part of the Angie Hot and Flashy set. It comes in the 7-piece set, but it's also a part of the travel set if you want to try that one out. And this is the A506. Normally I wouldn't have a product so tied, I feel like, in a favorites video, but truly this was already on the list. I already wanted to talk about it in this video, even if this wasn't sponsored by BK Beauty, so it just happened to work out, which I am so grateful for. But I absolutely love this A506 brush, and so does the internet. Like, this is mega viral, and really what made me fall in love with this is once I started wearing nails, which we'll get into later in the video. You know, it's hard to get in there and just tap out concealer. That used to be my favorite way to apply concealer. I just feel like your finger is such a nice way to warm up a product and really make sure you're not putting too much, especially on that delicate under eye area. And the way that this brush is cut and how soft it is, it really makes applying concealer so easy. And I just use like stippling motions to blend out, and I love that I can keep it targeted in my eye area without getting it all over the place. And I try to use as little concealer as possible, and the brush helps me get the best coverage that I can without having to over apply product. So I absolutely love this. This was in the favorites video. Like, this is a favorite brush. The other brush I really wanted to mention, this isn't actually a part of the other sets, but I wanted to also put this just in my favorites video. I know you guys know I love this, but this is the 208 brush, and it is a really small angled brush, and I love using this for eyeliner. I think it just works so well for creating a really small, concise wing, a wing that doesn't get out of control, a wing that's not, you know, growing on each side a little bit more, a little bit more. This brush specifically has made it so easy for me to be able to do a wing and know with confidence I'm not gonna like mess up my makeup look, which I feel like it doesn't matter how long I do wings, it's always like a hold your breath moment. But I've been loving a powder shadow wing, and this just works so well. So I'll take like a dark shadow, usually whatever palette I happen to have on hand, and I like actually having my mascara already done, so that way I know how long and how much I need to extend my wing for it to be seen. It's just so easy, and I love this. I've bought a few others, so I have like 3 or 4 of these in my brush collection, just kind of always in circulation, different places. So if you're struggling to do a wing and you want something that's gonna make it easy, I highly suggest this brush, the 208. So good. I feel like I've been in and out with eyeshadow. Like, what do I like currently? I feel like a lot of my tastes have been changing over the last, again, kind of year, and having these collected here again reminds me that I'm not into eyeshadow. It's just a little bit more specific, and I just don't wear as much eyeshadow at once like I used to. So it's a lot of one and done type shadows. It's a lot of creams and that type of stuff. So there's no way, if you've been watching me, that you don't know that I love cream shadows, okay? I really do. I feel like cream shadows are one of the easiest way to just get something on my lid, whether it's going to be a base for other shadows or it's going to be the look itself. They're just amazing if they're good. If they're bad, they can really suck, but I've really enjoyed enjoyed these. And honestly, all the ones I'm going to show here, this is just a small sampling of some of my favorites. I feel like these all have a very similar color in common. So you don't need all of these, but I feel like all of these formulas are really great and kind of similar, different price points, different features. I'm not going to go on and on about the Hourglass eyeshadow in Prism. I've talked about it, I feel like, at length in my videos. I love this one. The color on it is just beautiful, really easy to blend out. It's almost like cream to powder, and I feel like if you're really struggling with accentuating texture on your lids, this would be one to check out. Another one I've absolutely been loving is this Loon and Aster. This specifically is the shade Frosted Blush, and I've really been noticing that I love this kind of a shade, okay? It's kind of minky, it's kind of rose gold, it's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's also not too light and champagne, because as much as that can look okay, I want a little bit of definition on my lids, and I feel like this color just blends out beautifully. It has like a metallic kind of look to it, but nothing that looks too heavy on my lids. Again, I'm really picky about that, and there's no like sparkle in here, so I love that one. I guess I'll swatch Prism too, just so you guys can kind of see how similar all of these really are going to be. Like I said, you don't need all of them. You don't need all of them, but do I love them all and use them interchangeably? Yes, I do. I also really love the Jouer formula when it comes to shadow sticks. This color specifically is called, I think it's Serene, and this one has a little bit more of a metallic finish on it, I feel like, than any of the others. So if you're looking for a little bit more punch, a little bit more shine, I would go with the Jouer. Some of them do have a little bit of sparkle. This one doesn't. For some more inexpensive options, I do like these ColourPop ones, specifically the colors Honey BB and Socialite. These two are both stunning. I'm wearing Honey BB today. This one's just such an easy one to wear, and it's a little bit lighter than the other ones here. It has like a golden hue to it, but it's not too yellow golden, and I feel like it just makes a perfect base for kind of lightening up my lid a little bit, giving it a nice base for some shadow. And if you're looking for more of that kind of cool rose gold, almost kind of minky shade, I feel like Socialite's the way to go. Again, so beautiful, highly metallic, and I just like to apply these pretty sloppily, messily all over my lid. I use my fingers just to blend them out. Sometimes I'll use a brush to kind of blend the edges if I need it. And like I said, they're either good to go that way, or I will top over with another shadow. I just think they're so easy. I don't think I can express to you how obsessed I am. They're one of my favorite products. Like when I see brands coming out with shadow sticks, it's what I want to try. And obviously I'm loving these kind of neutral shades. These are my favorites. All of those do dry down, but I will say I have oily lids and I usually don't use a primer underneath, so I kind of just let them do their thing, and throughout the day they might crease a little. If I need to, I'll pat them out. I don't know. I try not to fuss too much with that. I'm really into a bit of a simpler makeup look lately. I don't mind something that's a little lived in. I'm just hoping I don't have like dry patches on my skin. That's my biggest worry, if anything. As for some single shadows that I might do like a one and done look with, or top over those stick shadows, I've really been loving baked eyeshadows. These definitely have my heart. This type of formula in general, it's just a little bit thinner on the lids, which I like, and I feel like there's a variety of finishes. You can get something that's a little bit more satin, you can get something with really high shine, a lot of sparkle, and everything in between. Unfortunately, one of my favorite shades is from Chantecaille. This came out with the fall collection last year. This is called Pinto. It's just the perfect color. Literally, I'm so sad because I've tried finding this. I've like recommended it to friends and it's gone. Okay, it's gone. It's so hard to, I don't even know how to even find it on like a weird secondhand market. Okay, like this thing is gone. So I'm sorry to talk about it, but to be honest, if I could just use whatever, I would be using this all the time. I love these kind of minky taupey shades, and specifically again this kind of baked formula I feel like just is so great for doing something a little bit more glam. You can build it up. You can also just use a fluffy brush and really sheer it out on the lids. It's just stunning, and the way that it catches the light I feel like is just perfect for me. It's a little subtle, but not actually like there's something to it that still looks magical. And I just feel like in general, if you wanted to try out some really nice baked shadows, Chantecaille does have some nice colors. It might be something to check out. These are so expensive though, so there is that about it. And if you're looking for a budget option or just an option that's actually available, this shadow from Kiko I've also just been loving. I could literally wear this every single day. Every single day. It could be the one shadow I wear over whatever. This is the shade 200. Again, it is baked, and I think it's a great dupe or alternative to the Chantecaille if you're not wanting to spend the money. This color is a little little bit lighter, again, a little bit more on an almost golden minky shade, a golden bronze. It's not overly warm, but it's not quite as like purple toned or kind of minky, I feel like, as Pinto, but it has beautiful shine. I'm wearing it for my eye look today. It's like the only shadow I topped over Honey BB. I put it on with a brush. I blended out the edges a bit. I even dragged it on my lower lash line, topping it over the Socialite shade from ColourPop. So I just love this. It looks shiny and a little bit glam, but still everyday, and that's kind of what I want for every day. Like, I feel like I'm going simple with the way things are applied and not being too technical with how things are placed, but I feel like in general, this shadow, I wouldn't say is simple. Like, there's shine here, there's some metallic stuff going on. It's really beautiful. So highly recommend this if you haven't checked out the Kiko shadows. They have some really beautiful formulas, and if you have any suggestions for other shades in this baked line, let me know. I wouldn't mind trying some you guys have already vetted. And then when I really want to shine and sparkle, these single shadows I've been going for are these Glaminatrix ones. You guys know I've been talking about these a ton. These are like the Glimmering Creatures collections. I have a few from a couple different collections. I feel like Foxo is my #1 most used. It's just a perfect everyday kind of shade. Again, topped over some type of cream is usually how I go. And these definitely have some sparkle to them. I really like shearing them out a bit because the sparkle really comes out. These give high shine, high glam, just absolutely beautiful. And I even like wearing them again in a more simple way, a simpler face, but then let those eyes shine. I think that is just so fun. For a bit of an icier look, I really do like Panda as well. And again, on these, you can get full pigment if you want, but I like to kind of spread them out if I can, kind of shear them out. And then I've also been liking Komodo as well. This is a newer one. It's a little bit more on the metallic side, but again, just such beautiful single shadows. I think they have a great range of neutrals, and specifically, again, Fox has been hard to pry out of my hands. I do have an affiliate code with Glaminatrix, so you can always use that to shop. I think I bought all of these though. I've definitely bought a lot of the single shadows. Sometimes I get sent the palettes, but I just love these. And there's just something so nice and kind of simple about a single compact eyeshadow. Because I'm doing my makeup a little bit more simply now, I just feel like I can get so much use out of one thing. And it's kind of fun to find that one special eyeshadow that you can use over and over, and maybe even be able to treat yourself a little bit more for like a higher end one because it's just one shadow. I've just been really into that. So these are some of my favorites. I also just had to mention these shadow pots from Charlotte Tilbury, and I promise then we'll move on to other eyeshadows. But I've just fallen in love with these even more. These are the Eyes to Mesmerize. This specifically is Oyster Pearl, which is a great kind of minky shade. And again, they just blend out beautifully. They're great on their own. They're great underneath things, and they're really easy. But Exaggerize is the one that really caught me off guard. When I first got this, I was kind of like bummed out by how warm the base is. And even the way the sparkle was in here, I was like, it's kind of subtle. Like, it's kind of subtle. I was wrong. Okay, I was so wrong. This is so beautiful. Yes, it is warm in that base, but the way that the sparkle is done in here is so elegant. It gives you pieces of sparkle and shine. It's not metallic. It's not a satin. It is sparkly, but the particles are so fine that the way they shine on your eyes is stunning. It's beautiful. I'm literally obsessed with this. I think it is so pretty. And I really love this as a one and done, a true one and done. Like, this is the eyeshadow on my eyes, put some mascara on, maybe a liner, maybe a wing, and you're good to go. Absolutely love them. Again, I'm just really into the easy, simple looks. And to finish it up with eyeshadows, I do have a few palettes I wanted to mention. I can't not talk about the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. This is one of the palettes that I use the most because it really has everything I need. If you're not into single shadows, this has a lot of comparable shadows in here that are similar to what I kind of mentioned. They have some sparkle. They're kind of in those minky, taupey, kind of neutral area. Maybe they lean a little warm. Maybe they lean a little cool. It kind of depends. But I also love that this has a dark matte in here. That's what I used to do the wing that I did today. And I love that. I tend to use that shade a lot for wings. And I also love the mattes that are in here. I tend to just use those to buff out. Even today, when I was like looking at my eye look, I was like, I kind of want to buff out the edges. And I used a little bit of mesh just to kind of get in there. So easy, so simple. It's just a no-brainer for me to reach for, and I always love the way my eye look looks with this. And it also just works as a great companion where I can bring a couple extra little pieces, and I definitely have everything I need. And the other palette that I absolutely love, and this reminds me that I'm not against color necessarily, but I do want to do it in a more simple way, a more what feels like artistic way to me. And this is the Isamaya Industrial Palette 2.0. The formulas that are in here I think are stunning. They They are very, to me, high-end. They aren't even all consistent. Some of them have a little bit more of a satin sheen to them. Some of them are highly metallic. Some of them are thicker. Some of them are just sheer wet shine shadows, which I absolutely love. We have some duochromes in here, and this just inspires me. It makes me want to play. I truly just love the creativity this offers me, the kind of inspiration it gives me, and it really could be like the colorful palette I have. Like, it could be the colorful palette I have. These are what I'm gonna go for. I love that it's also all shimmer. I'm a shimmer girly, okay? I can get down with more mattes. I always say this than ever, and that is true, but especially with colorful shades, like I want it in a shimmer, and I feel like this just scratches the itch every single time. Absolutely stunning. Freaking love this. I don't know if it's still available, but I am very, very happy with this. I know it's expensive, but again, to me, if I was traveling or really had to like pare down my collection, like in an impossible way, I don't even think I'd actually want to do this with my collection, but if I did, this could be one of the only colorful eyeshadow palettes I have. Like, I like it that much. I feel like it fulfills that kind of need for me. It just does it for me. I love it. Okay, those are the eyeshadows. I know it was a lot, and a lot of them, again, are very similar, but that's what I've been into lately. That's definitely what I've been into. I do have one base product in here, which is kind of surprising because I've just been on a journey lately. It is so difficult for me to find things for my skin that actually work, that I feel confident in, and the one product right now that I feel like I can rely on. Like, if I need my base to look good, I don't want to have to worry about it. It's the Natasha Denona concealer. This is the High Glam concealer, and I wear the shade N2. This just works so well on my skin, and I've talked about it, but my skin is very picky. It's very finicky. It's oily. It shows my pores. It also has dry patches. It's just a lot. It's a lot for any foundation, any concealer to handle, and this does so beautifully. It wears really well long term. It's more of like a thick and kind of creamy concealer, but it blends out really nicely. I can get a really everyday sheer kind of look. Today, I feel like it's overall pretty sheer. Sometimes I like to go a little bit heavier on camera just because it looks better, but for every day, I really don't need a lot of this. But if I wanted to go full coverage, if I wanted to go full glam, this will give it to you, and it'll still look great. It still looks great on my nose and in my problem areas. It just smooths them out the best that any product ever could. I've actually repurchased this. This is my second one because I use this concealer as an actual base product, and it's worth every penny. Like, it's so freaking good. If you're struggling, if you have similar problems to me, it might be one to check out. I actually don't love it under my eyes though, I have to say. It's not that it necessarily looks bad, but it just doesn't have the same magic under my eyes as it does on like the rest of my face skin. So that's where I suggest it. I think it's just amazing. I love it. I love this, and I'm so glad I at least have something to cling to. It's something I always go back to, and I go, it is true that foundations can look good. It's just most don't. It's just that most of them don't. And whenever I'm traveling, whenever I have an event, whenever I have anything that's even semi-important, or even if I just don't want to, again, deal with having to look at my face halfway through the day and be like, what did I do? What did I do? This is what I'm gonna go for. It's the literal only thing right now I can trust. It's the only thing I can trust. As for some cheek products, I do have a bronzer to mention. I don't know how much I've really shown you this, but this is the Tom Ford bronzer. I want to say I picked this up either like last minute during the Sephora sale or maybe right after, I don't know, but I have been, look at this, look at how cruddy, gross, and nasty this is, okay? I've been using this so freaking much, and this is a matte bronzer, so easy to use, so easy to blend. It gives me a nice sculpt and kind of contour while also just giving me that bronze kind of look. This is a shade 02 Terra, and I just love it. It's such an easy bronzer, another one that I just don't have to think of, and it's kind of a running theme with all these products. I love doing my makeup. I love sitting there and putting it on and having that moment to myself. But I also want products that are pretty easy overall and products that can be trusted. I love testing things, but when you're just wanting to do your makeup and look good for the day, but you have other stuff to do, it's really nice to know your products are just gonna work for you, how they're supposed to work for you. And I just don't have to overthink this bronzer. You guys know I love the Kosas Baked Bronzer. That one has a little bit of shimmer to it, and I still absolutely love that. But when I want something a little bit more contoured, a little bit more sculpted, I feel like this one definitely delivers, and it doesn't have that radiance to it. So there's no shimmer in here, but it blends out still so nicely. I really, really love it. It's really been working out for me, and it's one of my new favorite bronzers. For blush, I just put 2 in here. I probably could have added a ton more, but I have been trying just so many freaking blushes because so much has come out. The one I've really had to put away, and it's kind of surprising, is this one from Bobbi Brown. This is the Pot Rouge for lips and cheek, and it's in the shade Powder Pink. pink. I don't get the name, okay? Powder pink, I don't agree. But this gives me that kind of bronzy, sunburned kind of look. It is the blush I'm wearing today. And this formula, I also would have thought maybe wouldn't work for me because it's a thicker kind of cream, almost kind of like the Tower 28, which I also do like. I'm a bit of an anomaly in what I want. It's like I have oily skin, but I still want my skin to look like skin. I don't want to be over powdered. I like products with a little bit of a dew, but I can't have it be too much because then it doesn't stick around on my face. And I feel like the pigment for the formula just works really well in this product for me, but it also works well with my favorite blush brush. You guys know I talk about this all the time. It's another one that happens to be part of the BK Beauty Angie Hot and Flashy set. This is the A507. This comes in the 7-piece set and the travel set. So again, if you're gonna check those sets out, you will be getting this and for sure that concealer brush I talked about. There's something about the density of this brush though that I think works so nicely with this blush, and I think it's one of the reasons it works as well as it does for me because it lets me get the pigment without getting too much, I feel like, of the moisturizing formula, if that makes sense. It just applies it so well. So I love this. I wear this all the time, and I think it works especially like if I know I want a really long wearing makeup day, I will powder my face and then go in with this with my brush because I feel like it brings a little bit of that life back. It adds a little bit of a sheen to my cheeks, but again, nothing tacky, nothing that's gonna slip and slide around, and I really, really love that. It just has like a healthy glow, looks really natural, so I love this. I literally have had to be like, okay, put it away. You have like a million other blushes to try. And then I went back and forth on including this next blush, but you know, I've been loving it ever since I tried it, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna put it in. It's that It Cosmetics blush. This is the Sun Blush in the shade Sun Warmth, which is the 3rd shade. This one's a little bit more creamy and it's almost kind of cold to the touch, which I find interesting, but it's very similar in what I'm talking about. It's kind of creamy, but it's still high pigment, so I can blend it out without it being too goopy on my cheeks, and I absolutely love it. This color also gives me that kind of sunburnt look, and that's what I'm going for. I like a little bit of color and really letting that bring some life to my face, so I don't want something too neutral, but I also love that both these colors are grounded in also something kind of neutral. They aren't bright pink or watermelon or cherry, although I do like those colors as well. For every single day, I'm going for something more like these. I'm gonna quickly finish up the eyes because I know I've chatted your ear off about this, but I can't lie, the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara is just so good. It's a tubing mascara, and it's the first tubing mascara I've tried that really let me fall in love. I've always struggled with at least something smudging, and I kind of just was like, that's how it is. That's just how it is. And then I tried this and was like, why am I putting up with subpar performance? What am I talking about? What am I talking about? I love that this tubing mascara doesn't smudge. It doesn't flake. It's so easy to get off. I literally just get it wet a little bit, let it kind of sit, and I can just pull off all these little fibers, all these little tubes. And I really love that mascara isn't breaking down into my eyes. My eyes are super sensitive. I actually recently went to the eye doctor, and so I'm figuring all that out because I'm telling you, my eyes are so freaking dry and just sensitive, and they hurt often, and I really feel like this has helped, and it actually looks good. So I feel like I'm not sacrificing the actual look of my lashes for the mascara to be tubing, which I feel like has always been my problem with other tubing mascara. Literally the only thing that can make this better is if they made it in a brown. Please, Cali Ray, make this in a brown shade. That would be amazing. I would be obsessed. I have it in a mini, I have it in this, I have backups of it, and it's a mascara that I constantly am like, okay, you got it. Like, you have a ton of mascara sitting in your drawer. You need to try some other things, but I always want to go back to this because you know the feeling. If you put on a mascara that you don't know how it works, it can ruin everything, at least for me. Like, I can be like, great, the last step, and everything's horrible. So I really, really love this mascara. I think that's everything for the straight up makeup in the video, but I wanted to talk about other things. In my past favorites videos, I've loved to like give you other insights into my life, and so I have a little bit of that, and also some other non-makeup but beauty related things too. I feel like a lot of these next things really relate to self-care, and I've just been loving ice rolling. I talked about this last year because I started ice rolling last year, and I just love this. I've upgraded to the Skinny Confidential. I don't even know this brand, to be honest, but it's just one of the best ones on the market. It's so heavy duty. It's a really smooth roller. It's like ergonomical for your hand, and you can also take out the actual metal roller so you can do a nice clean with it, and I like to keep this specifically in the fridge. I was doing the freezer for a bit, but it gets a little too cold, to be honest, but I'm very gentle. I love using this as like a wake up moment, and I don't even know quite all the benefits to ice rolling. I think it helps to depuff a bit, and like it can help with lymphatic drainage and stuff, but really it's this nice moment that I have in the mornings to wake up. You know, it's very refreshing and rejuvenating. You're putting something super cold on your face, but it just feels nice. It feels like I'm doing something for myself. It's kind of been built into this morning routine that I've really loved. I just really love this. So if you were thinking about it, it might be something to check out. I had a different ice roller initially, but it kind of broke immediately. And you know, there's something about the weight of this one that does feel really nice and really luxe. So if you've tried it and you know you're into it and you want to kind of invest in something a little bit more expensive, I do suggest this one. I think it's super nice. But with that, I've also been loving this tool. I got this from In Beauty Project. They sent it with an eye cream, and I don't think you can actually buy this individually. I'm sure some other brands sell it, but it's kind of a similar deal. It's like a metal tool that just naturally gets cold from just being out. So I don't need to put this in the fridge or anything, but it is such a treat to put on my eye cream and just smooth over my eye a few times. If I'm really just wanting a little depuffing and again, a rejuvenating moment under my eyes, I've been loving this. And I also have been loving, just in general, under eye patches. These ones from Peter Thomas Roth, I do particularly love. They sent these to me, and they're the 24K Gold Pure Luxury Lift and Firm Hydrogel eye patches. Do I think these necessarily do anything that different than other eye patches? I don't think so. I think these are pretty expensive, so I get it if you're like, I'm not spending the money on those. But in general, eye patches under my eyes, when my eyes just feel kind of fatigued and just kind of tired, and you know, there's some days when I wake up and I'm just ready, I'm ready to go, but a lot of days my eyes are dry. Even when I first wake up, they hurt. And in general, I just don't feel like I look awake. Like I can tell that like I kind of still look like I'm sleepy. And I've been loving these eye patches to put on while I'm like doing whatever routine I'm doing. And what I love is that these actually stick on my eyes. So like when I put them on, I can walk around, they're not sliding down my face. I've had issues with other patches that really just slip and slide, and it's like annoying as heck. These stick around, which I love, and really just make sure your patch isn't too wet. I feel like that also can like make it just slip on down. But I'll just keep these on while I'm either doing computer work or whatever, while I'm just doing things around the house. When I pull these off, I'm telling you, I can just feel my eyes feel more open, they feel more refreshed, and you know, it does help with a little bit of puffiness, anything like that, especially too. I'm basically just telling you in this video, like, I have issues with my eyes. I really do. I tell Sam all the time, I'm like, I think I sleep with my eyes open, I swear to you, because they're so freaking dry. And even the eye doctor was like, yeah, your tears dry up in 3 seconds and they're supposed to be there for 10. I'm like, I don't know, they just don't like me, I don't know. But anyway, I've been loving these patches, and all three of those things are just these kind of like nice self-care moments that really I never really was into in the past, but I think they're these really nice touches to my beauty routine that really make an impact on how I feel, and I've really enjoyed them. Definitely favorites. Okay, this next one, I almost feel like you guys aren't gonna believe me, but it's true. It's freaking true. I've been into body oils. Body oils. I know. Am I about to go on a yacht? I don't know. It all started with this one, okay? I got it in one of the advent calendars, which, side note, I cannot wait for advent calendar season. Just gotta say, okay? Just gotta say. But this is the Soul Sunlight Body Oil. It's from, I don't even know the brand. Shine in Nature. Oh, Costa Brazil. It's from the brand Costa Brazil. I've looked them up since, and I don't know if they sell this exact one or if they've just kind of rebranded things, repackaged things. But when I tried this on in the video of me opening it in an advent calendar, I was obsessed with the smell, and I still am. It's like a very expensive, tropical, kind of floral scent. It's kind of shocking I like it as much as I do, to be honest, but I do. I love it. And so because this smelled so good, I started putting this on my arms when I would get out of the shower, and then I would layer with some body mist, all that, you know, do my whole nighttime routine, smell good, which I absolutely freaking love. And it just became a part of the routine. I actually didn't realize this has shimmer in it because I never shook it. I would just like pour it, and so when I was first putting it on, it didn't have any shimmer, but now I'm to the point where like I'm just getting tons of shimmer. So there's that about it. I actually don't love shimmery body oils. Like, they're nice for summer, but I like just a regular one so I don't have to get shimmer everywhere. But there's something to it and I really enjoy. It's a little bit more of a luxurious feeling than a lotion, and a lot of the oils, yes, they're a little oily initially, but they tend to dry down pretty fast, and I'm only keeping them on my arms. I will say I'm not like necessarily putting them all over my body yet. We'll probably get there. I'll probably really get to a place where texturally that works for me. But I can't lie, I've been loving them on my arms, and again, just kind of mixing them into my shower routine and kind of fragrance routine at the end of the night. So loving this one. I've also been loving my Baccarat one. I love Baccarat. If you're over on my fragrance channel, and if you don't know, I have a fragrance channel, so you can go check that out. But I love Baccarat, and I got this in another advent calendar. I had an MFK one, so I wouldn't have necessarily bought this on its own. It's a very expensive body oil, but it's in my favorite smell. So I've been experimenting with this too, and this has the shimmer. I could go without it, but I love layering this as well. This is more of like a dry oil. This one's a little bit thicker. And then the other body oil I happen to have is this one from Salt Air, which I really like the formula of. The scent, this is the Santal Bloom one. It's not my favorite sandalwood. It's a little bit powdery for a sandalwood for me, but formula wise, if you're looking for a nice body oil, I do really like this one. It's almost this serum body oil. It's a little bit thicker again. And I'm like, who am I? Who is this girl putting on body oils on her skin? Voluntarily, like voluntarily. It's me. Hi, it's me. I love it. So if you have a favorite body oil out there, specifically one that smells, I do feel like the scent is a factor for me. Like I gotta like this scent, and that's part of why I like it, but I've literally been loving it. It feels so luxurious, and I can't believe myself. I can't believe, like, who is this girl? I don't know. I don't know. And last, for kind of fragrance things, I usually keep this stuff to the fragrance channel, but I just have to shout out the Way body mist. This is the St. Bart's, and I was waiting for this for so freaking long, and I love it. I have a dent in it. I'm using this thing, especially considering how many other fragrances I have going all the time. It smells just like the body scrub and the body lotion and the shower gel. And I think it's just a perfect, again, very luxurious smelling, tropical, summery scent. And specifically this body mist, I feel like lasts a really long time. Usually body mists have pretty poor performance. You're only gonna get like an hour, maybe two out of them, but I find this one lasts a really long time, especially if you're gonna be layering it with some other products, and it smells so good. So highly suggest this if you haven't checked it out. It is a great body mist. I'm checking my list to make sure I don't forget anything, and I totally would have, so bear with me. I know this video is kind of long, but it's like 6 months to like 8 months of favorites in one. I wanted to mention this skincare product from Summer Fridays. This is the jet lag mask, and I know this has been around for a long time, but you can see here, mine is getting to the bottom. I've been really careful about what I'm putting on my skin. I'm really trying to heal my face and just, you know, keep it chill and heal my skin barrier. But when I just want a little bit of a refresh, but nothing that's gonna be too intense and gonna, like, you know, eat away at my skin in a bad way, I've really enjoyed using this jet lag mask. You can use it as a moisturizer, you can use it as a mask that you put on and take off, and you can also use it as like an overnight cream, and that's my favorite way to use it. I'll put quite a bit of this on as my night cream, not to the point of like slugging or something, but I find it just gives me this really nice glow, again, without being too harsh on my skin when I wake up the next morning. So it's a great one for me if I need a little bit of a refresher. I absolutely love this, and it's one that I just want to like kind of always have on hand to use whenever I feel like my skin just needs that little pick me up. And I almost forgot lips, so we're kind of backtracking to makeup. I'm sorry. I thought we were done, but I just got ahead of myself. I'm obsessed with lip liners. I think we know that at this point. I love the Wearable Walnut from Makeup Forever. Just in general, any of the Makeup Forever lip liners are so good, but a lip liner I feel like I haven't given as much love to and like talked to you guys about is from Jones Road, and specifically it's the shade Mauve. This color is so good, and the formula in general of these lip liners is so good. So if this color doesn't work for you, definitely check out what other colors, maybe there's something better. But Mauve specifically is just a really nice kind of cool tone. I guess I would say mauve shade, but there's something about this that looks almost a little bit like a contour on my lips. Like it adds a little bit of something like a shadow, and I think it's so beautiful. It looks so great with basically any lip gloss. That's what I like, or a lip balm. That's like my favorite kind of combo, especially for every day. But I just can't be without a lip liner. I really love the way a little lip liner fills out the lips. You just need a little bit. I try not to overdraw too much. Sometimes I do. I kind of like rounding out the Cupid's bow. I know it's not everyone's favorite, but I like it. I think my lips look bigger and juicier and plumper for it. So I love this lip liner. Definitely a great one to try out. I don't know if I'd say it's rare when I find a lip liner I absolutely love, but you know, there's a lot of different formulas and I'm pretty picky. So when I can find that wood pencil that isn't like too locked down, too dry down, all that, I just get so excited. And this is definitely one of those great lip liner formulas, but also this color really suits me. And last for lips, I really could have mentioned a lot of different lip balms. There's so many great ones out there. I love the Summer Fridays. I also love a lot of different lip oils, some different K-beauty lip products, but this is the one I wanted to mention because again, this is what I've been using which is odd. It's bizarre. I got this at an event. It was in like the goodie bag, and I honestly thought nothing of it. It kind of looks clinical, like it's part of that ugly packaging, but it works so good trend. It's from the brand Image Skincare. It's the Ormetic Balancing Lip Enhancement Complex. I don't know. Texturally, this is so nice. It is kind of cushiony and bouncy, and it also has a nice flavor to it. It's kind of almost bubblegummy. I don't know. It has this sweet candy-like, I can't quite put my finger on it. It's like bubblegum isn't quite it, but it's the closest I can get to. So I love the kind of flavor and the smell to it. I love the texture. It feels just so smoothing and plush on my lips. I love it. And I even kind of like that it's small. It's easy to just put in my pocket if I don't want to have a lot of other things on. Again, not like the most Instagram worthy. Sorry, but it's true. It isn't, but the actual formula inside is freaking great. It's so good. So I really, really love this. Highly recommend if you happen to see this. I don't know. Do you know this brand? Okay, I think we're back on track. We only have a few more things, so bear with me, hang out with me. I hope you're enjoying the video. Leave your favorites down below, because as much as I'm talking about all this stuff, this is just what I've been loving. And you know, it's so fun to really pare down your collection, get into what you've been loving. What's the kind of makeup capsule that represents your loves right now? I think that's so fun, and definitely let us know what you love. But I could not talk about the nails, guys. I used to not be a nail girly at all, and I can't believe that. Again, who am I? Body oils, nails, I don't know, but we all change and grow, okay? We all change and grow. I love having a pair of press-ons on, and I'm so glad that I've been able to make press-ons work for me, because for a while it was difficult. I don't know if it's that I'm too much of like a perfectionist or what, but I just would get so in my head about gluing something onto my actual nail. It'd freak me out. I just felt like I was gonna do it wrong and it was gonna mess everything up. So I was just very tentative, I guess, about it. And so I would go to the salon. But to be honest, I hate the salon, okay? I'm sorry, I hate it. I hate the noises. I hate the feelings on my fingers. I just always felt really dysregulated when I'd come home from the salon, to be honest. Like, I hated it. It was horrible, and I'd always wait till the last minute, so my nails were like so janky looking by the time I'd actually go. But with the press-ons, I just set some time aside when I'm going to switch out my nails, kind of do my whole prep. I'll cut my cuticles, I'll file them down a little. I just take my time with them, and I just feel like I get great results, even better results. So my favorite brand, I've loved the Glamnetic, okay? I'm a Glamnetic girly. I have a literal drawer full of Glamnetic nails that I've bought because I just always have one on hand, and usually I go about a week, and I know that's kind of intense. These yellow babies have been on a while, okay? These guys, I'm like, you are staying on. I don't have time to change you, but they look great. I get compliments on them even now after they've been on like 2+ weeks, and it's showing a little. I'm not gonna lie, it's showing a little, but I love them. And this shape is the short almond. That's my favorite shape. It just makes my hands look a little bit more elongated, and I really love that. It's just, I just feel so finished. It just feels so nice to have my fingernails look good, and I never felt like that before. I always just didn't care. I don't know if it's just being on camera. I also do like shorts on Instagram, and they're more aesthetic and stuff, and I really love having nice nails. But if you're wanting to try some press-ons, one, like, go for it. I know it can be scary, or maybe it's just scary for me, but if you relate to that, I get it. And I highly suggest the Glamnetic. I just feel like they are nice and solid. Like, I'm gluing these on, and then I'm gonna open cans, and I'm gonna do everything. So sometimes they pop off, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I will have them pop off, but I would say I usually get a good 5 days. If I do my full routine and all that, I can get them to stay on 5 days to a week without popping off, and then after that, it's just like one here and there, and I just bring a little glue with me, and I'm always putting on a nail, and that works for me. So I love these. These yellow ones have been some of my favorites. I've repurchased this set here. This is the Olive You. I originally got these from Hannah, and I just loved them, so I've repurchased those. I really love the Blushing Aura. I'll put them up here. I just think they're great. I will say, if you get some of the ones that are a little bit more sheer, sometimes you can see the glue, but I find it's never an issue. I don't know. I'm pretty picky overall, I would say, and I'm just telling you, Glamnetic is my fave. I also do like the short oval. If this length seems too long for you, I would try the short oval, and I also find those stay on a little bit better. So if I'm doing something where I need my nails to just really stay on, I don't want to be dealing with potentially them popping off, I'll go a little bit shorter, and I've had like literally no issues with that, and it's just so easy to have beautiful nails. I get compliments literally all the time when I'm out, and I'm always like, they're press-ons, they're press-ons, and they're always like, that's fine. I'm like, no, I'm just letting you know, like, look how good press-ons can look. Anyway, finding press-ons alone instead of having to go to the salon was amazing for me, and it really changed my life, to be honest, because I dreaded it. I dreaded it. It was horrible. But I would sacrifice because I really liked my nails, and now I don't have to do either of those. I will say your nails will look like shit underneath. That's just how it's gonna be. You're literally gluing nails onto your nails, so prepare for that. And also, I didn't know this, but it's called greenies, okay? And if you are wearing them, I've only had it happen once, but I popped off a nail and it was a little green under my nail, and I was freaked out, and I was trying to treat it with tea tree and all this stuff. But I've heard from the other nail girlies that that's just what happens. And so, you know, oh, baby got her first greenie kind of thing. So if that happens, I guess it's kind of normal. I don't know. I don't love it, and it hasn't happened since, thank goodness, but I think it's mostly when water gets trapped. So really making sure that they're on securely and you're not letting like water get trapped. The last couple things I wanted to mention, my jewelry. This is some permanent jewelry that I got. I got these specifically from Catbird. There's a store in Larchmont now. They just opened, and initially I had a friend going to the opening, so she was like, oh, go with me. And I was like, should I do it? I don't know. It was like this big thing in my head of like, should I get permanent jewelry? I don't know. Will I like it? Obsessed with it. I went back afterward and got another one, and so I have two right now. I kind of want a third one, but I just love that this is always on me. I never have to think about putting something else on. I love that it doesn't tarnish because my skin will eat through anything that's fake. I love that I don't have to deal with any of that. And you know, with the bracelets and the nails, something that I realized that I love about it is that it's a thing that I can do where I can see it. I get to enjoy and see my nails. I get to enjoy and see my jewelry, whereas like with my makeup and even my hair or like any of the things of the way I look, like I just am not really thinking about how I'm looking throughout the day. It's just not something my whole life I've really thought about. But no matter what I'm doing, I can always see my hands, I can always see my jewelry, and it's something that makes me feel really put together, even if maybe I don't feel it otherwise. Been loving this jewelry, and I wanted to shout it out. In case you were thinking, I know a lot of other places do permanent jewelry, but I've really loved it, and it's been so easy to just have a little dainty bracelet on all the time. Last, I'm gonna leave it off with just a few music things. I used to do this all the time. I even used to like give you guys some playlists, and I don't know if I have a proper playlist to leave. Maybe I will, but I've been more into kind of like dance music, pop music, that type of stuff. So loving the new Charlie XCX album. I went and actually saw her in LA, and it was so freaking awesome. It was right after the album dropped, so it was just such a good show. Loved it. And I've also been loving Fred again, like just loving Fred again, and just anything in that kind of realm. So that's what I've been into. I just love a little uplifting music, something that gets you to dance. I just feel like that always lifts my mood and makes me feel good, and that's what I've been jamming out to. So I thought I would just, you know, do a little throwback, let you guys know what I've been listening to. If I can get a playlist together, I'll leave it down below if you just kind of want to know what I'm vibing out to and want to vibe out yourself. But other than that, thank you guys so much for being here. I know it's been a long one. Again, thank you to BK Beauty for sponsoring the video. And if you're interested in any of those brush sets, make sure to use that code. It's YT20. That will be going through July 8th. You can shop right here through YouTube. Definitely let me know what your favorites are, or if you have any suggestions for some elite products out there. These are definitely mine. This makes me feel so good. They just stand above other things in my collection. I always want to use them. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video. Bye guys. I'll see you in my next one.